All right, here we are, an unofficial Ironman Texas bike course overview. I have essentially done my best to duplicate the map as posted from the race website for the 2017 course, which has the majority of it on the Hardy Toll Road. A fundamentally different course than we've seen here in the Woodlands in the past, but promises to be just as fast as before. As you can see, the general layout here, um, it's predominantly out and back in both directions. There's a little bit of administrative time that you should kind of check out. From an elevation perspective, it's minimal. It's really, really nothing. You see this generally sort of a net downhill and a net up. Like, so I would say false down, false up on the section. More speed, less speed, really depends. Generally speaking, there's not a lot of wind down here right in Houston as much as there was, back out north here when you were up, beyond Egypt, past Dobbin. When you were out here in Richards, it was a lot windier. So generally speaking, you shouldn't be too pummeled by the winds. In years past, the wind that has come has been from the south off the Gulf. As a result, if anything, you'd feel a headwind on the way out on the second lap, but you'd have a tailwind on the way back. And this, that means like a last, 40 miles, say, of some flavor of tailwind, which is not a bad place to be with the tailwind, right? Okay, so let's kind of dive in and look at this course. You get a sense of what it's like. So transition area, assuming it's all going to be the same, you're going to transition out of the pavilion and come down. Take a right on Woodlands Parkway here, as you always have, and you're going to go out to Kukendall Road and turn around here at the end. Nothing sexy about this road. Only accident I've ever seen in Ironman Texas was here because people are on this. It's a major road. You're kind of semi on the shoulder, semi lane, and you just got to be careful. You're paying attention, especially in the first couple miles. It's the first 10 miles. Be a lot of jitters as people kind of just trying to figure this all out. Then you'll take a right-hand turn here to continue on Grogan's Mill. And then they've got you doing some administrative time, basically, get you away from this major intersection. So it's just a bunch of right, left, right, left, right, left to get all the way out. Nothing crazy, but enough that if they've got if they'll have police officers and so on at the intersections, that won't be so bad. But just to give you a sense of what we're talking about, you're going to be coming down this road here and taking a left and going down on this road here. So fairly open. The police should be stopping traffic, etc. That shouldn't really be a problem. But it just it could get a little tight, especially if it's bunchy in the early miles. Again, we're only talking 12 miles in, so this is still going to be fairly crowded for you. So just want to be mindful of that until you sort of feel like you're safe and you're out there. And when you get next to the highway, you think you're going to be on the highway, but you're really not. What happens is you're going to do a little bit more administrative time, kind of do this extra loop around it to kind of add on. It's kind of shaped like a dog's head or something like that. You're going to do a dog head turn, set of turns here around, under, over highways to come back to get on the Hardy Toll Road. That makes sure that it's just enough to be 112. Once you're on the Hardy Toll Road, and you'll see these turns are just, they're nothing special in here. They're just tiny, tiny roads. In fact, they don't even have you driving back in there. So they're not exactly the most, user-friendly roads, like not necessarily very well traveled. Let's drop in here and take a look. You'll see. Just going to kind of head off into this sort of more remote area over here. It's nothing crazy, no bad pavement or anything, just lots of turns. And then you get on the Hardy Toll Road. Once you're on the Hardy Toll Road, you're basically going to go out and back twice. There'll be a turnaround, and when you come back up here, you're basically going to just get off the highway, go under, and go back again on the other side. It's pretty much my understanding. Very straightforward, very, very fast. There's some course simulation things where people have, kind of put what it looks like, but generally speaking, it's going to be a highway like this. You're just going to have, I believe you're going to have one side of the highway to yourselves, and just going to be out and back on one side of the highway divided. Very similar to what they do at Ironman Mont Tremblant. So not the first time that they've done this. Overall, it should be very flat, fast, and fair. Because it's so flat, this is much flatter than the old Texas used to be, because there actually were a couple hills out there around midpoint that I don't expect the course to break up very much. And so, if anything, from a race perspective, it's going to be a lot more crowded over time. You're going to have to pace yourself and be very aware of your position on the road as you manage aid stations and so on. Our typical guidance is that you're kind of JRA pacing until mile 30. Well, mile 30, you don't really hit mile 30 until you kind of do this big S turn here on Hardy Toll Road. So because of that, I would say this kind of swooping turn on Hardy Toll Road is kind of your mark for where things are. And then on the way back in, things start to get hard around mile 80. And mile 80 on the day is here just on your way out, just for the final turn. And so it's second loop on the way out. So know that second turnaround point, you kind of got to do the math in your head and say, okay, I'm less than 30 miles. I'm 27 miles from the finish. I can get to, 27 miles is an hour plus what? All I have is 1 hour left on this bike. I can do that. Kind of wrap your head mentally around that. I think it'll be hard without landmarks and stuff to really be pacing yourself outside of your computer there, because it'll be a little crazy. All right, hope this is helpful, guys. Head on down, check out that run video next. See you.